Hi there, I'm Aaron Wilder, and I curated the Amos Eno Gallery exhibition, A Long Train, 250 Years of Hypocrisy, that's on artsy.net. And joining me is Niki Singleton. Niki, thanks so much for being with me today.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for including me in the exhibition.
Since the exhibition critiques the Declaration of Independence and its legacy, I want to ask you about declarations. And so, a declaration is an explicit expression of feeling or commitment embodying boldness and clarity. It doesn't just describe reality, it attempts to create one. What, if anything, does your work declare?
Um, my work declares that all people, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, race, culture, and ability, are equal upon this earth, and that they must be afforded the same rights to life, love, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness under global law. My work declares that all living things deserve respect and compassion and empathy and understanding and aid in times of trouble and love, essentially. And I just feel right now there's a lot of that we're is missing.
One of your works in the show is behind you, Doppelganger.
Yeah.
It is rich with symbolism. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about that.
Doppelganger, I created in response to the election of Trump. I wanted to speak to white women actually who voted for him against their own rights, against their fundamental rights.
These two figures that you have in the painting, they are visually confronting the viewer, but they also are displaying interaction with each other.
I wanted to have two figures that represented cliches of each other. On the left side, there is a kind of queer female character, and on the right, there's a more conservative, right leaning woman. I wanted them to have kind of like a conversation. There is tons of symbolism in there, and the symbolism is almost like what each, well, there's realness in there, but it's also what each character would view the other character as. You know, on the left, you have like a queer witchy woman. You have the labyrinth in there, and a black cat, typical symbol of witchcraft. You've got the owl, which is like a symbol of power and wisdom from the goddess Athena. Also, snakes represented by her. Um, Moons. I also wanted to show how elaborate, like it's an elaborate headdress that I was looking at queer costumery
Mhm.
in Carnival and in drag. There's also a crow in there. The crow represents divine feminine, like ancestral, like native peoples believe ancestral female wisdom. And on the right side, you can see that she's wearing sort of a tiara. She's got a hand. The main villainous sort of aspect of the tableau, I'd say, is this patriarchal hand that's holding down the woman on the right.
Mhm.
And you can see that there's sort of a devil figure suckling at her breast, and she's got a knife in her hand, a kitchen knife, ready to go when this hand might move her arm. So it's almost like she doesn't have her own agency anymore. She's being wielded by another powerful force. You know, you got obviously the Christian symbolisms of like the angel, but the angel is looking away. She can't stand to look, you see? And then a storm, gigantic storm behind her, the arm that's sort of a death arm, holding up the iPhone in the face of the other woman that has a Handmaid's Tale woman and a noose, almost like a warning that if you don't find some agency and see how your rights are being curtailed, this is what our future could be. Also, there's the aborted baby there that, of course, keeps coming up because of Republican sentiment. I mean, it's been long gone, this question of whether we should allow abortion or not. So it's really a political maneuver. What are they actually trying to do? They're actually trying to control our own bodies, and that means they're going to control everything else, every other aspect. It's a symbol of control.
And
So
the hand that's on her left shoulder has a weight to it. It's sort of pushing down and or pulling back. So I think that influence is really apparent in the composition.
yes, and the veil. I mean, the veil has always traditionally been a symbol of servitude, like ownership. Oh, and yes, in the original painting, Gabrielle d'Estrées and one of her sisters made in the 1700s. They were both sisters. They were sitting in a tub. When it was shown, it was banned because it was so sexually arousing for male patrons, right, to view. So I wanted to have that kind of tension as well. The fact that love and hate is can be so close to each other. There is this sort of like flirting between the two. I'm attracted to you, but I can't handle it. You know, the queer aspect, which is another reason for hate to exist, because I'm scared of you, but I'm also attracted to you, you
Mm.
know?
Right. It's
So
sort
I
of
wanted to
push
deal
and
with
pull at
that.
the same time.
Yeah.
And so a lot of your works, these included, have to do with fluidity and challenging boundaries and binaries. What is your view of a shared fluid future?
I think I'm building and imagining a global society where the voices and bodies of women and queer folks and BIPOC and disabled folks, immigrants and all classes and creeds are not only accepted and included as equally relevant to creating a better developed and more just society, but who are celebrated for who they are and not vilified.
And that's a future I think all of us should be looking to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. And I want to remind our viewers that A Long Train, 250 Years of Hypocrisy is on view through April 4th. Thank you.
Thank you so much.